We are live.
Hey,
Good evening. It's Mel Bundock here, and welcome to episode 12, the final episode of this season of Big Vision TV. Now, I'm joined by Alon David, who is the creator of the 90X Goal Planner, and I have my copy here.
I have mine.
Oh, I like the gold. I love the gold. And we're going to be talking today about how to set goals effectively. Now, if you're an entrepreneur, if you're in business, if you've got any dream or vision that you want to bring to life, then this is something you're really going to want to listen to today, because goals, dreams, and visions don't just happen. You can manifest, you can meditate all you want, but it does involve some action taking, and it involves planning as well. And now, I am a stationery junkie, and I think I bought every planner under the sun. But when I came across this one, it was actually a gift from my mentor, James Wedmore, who's also a big fan of these planners. I thought this is something so different. And, you know, having got to know Alon a bit more in the mastermind group that we're in, I really wanted to bring him on as a guest there because he is an expert in all these things. So
I'm an expert in my product.
yes. So, but I'm going to talk today a little bit about Alon's personal story. It's a really inspiring story about, you know, how he got to where he is today. So, without, you know, any further ado, Alon, I'd like you to just introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you so much. I'm so honored to be a guest on your show and actually closing the season, which I'm happy about. So thank you so much. Again, my name is Alon David. I'm from LA at this point. I just moved from San Diego to LA. And I created 90X Goal Planner about a year and a half ago. That's not my areas of expertise as far as creating products, but it's something that I was lacking in my life and I could not find, and therefore I decided to create it. My story is a little bit different because I came from different places. I'm originally from Israel, and I moved here when I was 21 years old, a week after completing my 3-year service in the Israeli Air Force. I finished that and I just took off and I never looked back. And I came to the US as a student. I studied in a college back in Texas, community college in Texas, and then I was working over there because the only job that I could do, because I'm a student and I'm not allowed to do a lot of things, was actually just working construction. And I did construction and I was earning $5.25. And it was pretty good time in my life and a bad time, because $5.25 is pretty much nothing. Even if you try to work 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week, it translates to nothing. But I did that because really that's the only job I could do. The only job I had available for me that I could actually work and do. But I did it and I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it because it was a time where I had nothing. This is all I had. I was going to school and I was working doing that. At night I had another job, which was cleaning shopping centers, paid a little bit more, but it was from 12 to 4 o'clock in the morning and it was paying like $10 an hour. But I did that. And because I really believed that I need to trust the process. I really need to do what I got to do to survive. And it worked. And after 3 years of doing that, I finally got my big break and I was able to work in other fields after completing some of my college degree area over there in Texas. And then I transitioned to actually working for myself, and selling insurance, where really brought me up financially and helped me a lot more. Moving forward fast, I moved to San Diego after about 7 years in Texas. And I worked with my uncle in a construction company where I did all the design for the constructions, and he did the construction itself. And that's where I really started setting my goals, because I wanted to create more sales, but there wasn't any system. So I created kind of my own system, which is pretty straightforward, right? You write a goal, you take action, and then you move forward. But there's a lot in between that people forget. And I think it's what that always kept me going is believing that I can. And I think that's what set it apart, is just believing that you can, believing that there's a better dream, dreaming big. That's the thing that never scares me. I always dream so big that sometimes, like, are you kidding yourself? Like, this is not possible for you. And, you know, we always say that to ourselves. It's just but knowing how to shift from that mindset and believing that you can dream big, you can set big goals. It's okay. It's your personal thing. You can do whatever you want. But that's what changed it. And bringing that company, I think the sales when I joined that company were about 150,000. And after 2 years in business, we brought it over 2 million. And I was the only salesperson. So it wasn't like a team of salespeople. It was just me doing the sales and my uncle running the jobs and then other people, doing the jobs itself. After that, me and my uncle part ways. It didn't work out for us after 7 years. And I found myself starting again from zero. Literally zero, with no money, because some things happened in the business where took everything away. I didn't get paid. I had to leave the company without anything in my pocket. Literally, I had to take a cab home because the car wasn't even a business vehicle. So I didn't even have a vehicle. And I found myself doing like, what am I going to do now? Because I'm at zero. I have no sales. I have nothing, no prospects. And a year before that, I started taking photos. And while taking photos, I got good at it. So I said, why not try as a photographer, wedding photographer, corporate, whatever, I don't care. And that's the way I transitioned. So what I did is I emailed 100 photographers in San Diego, top 100 photographers in San Diego, to see if I could just be part of the team, hold their bags, go with them on an event for free. They don't have to pay me, just for free, so I can learn the trade, because I didn't know anything about that. I came from construction, from picking up trash, from selling insurance, to photography, brand new world for me. And I didn't get any responses. Nobody from those emails responded and said, yeah, come pick up my bag for free. And nobody did that. And I found myself again, I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, are you kidding? Like, I'm willing to help for free. All I need, you don't even have to teach me. I will observe. You don't have to tell me this is what you got to do. I will observe as best as I can and learn whatever I can. Nobody responded. And I just did it by myself. I just asked some friends if I could take their photos and other people, and did a couple of weddings for free until I built my portfolio. But I think my vision and my belief helped me get to a 6-figure company in the first year in business. So I started this 1/1/2010. By the end of the year, I was over 6 figures without any knowledge, without schooling, without nobody giving me clients or telling me, just by believing that I can do it, setting my goals and knowing how to set my goals, and just pushing and pushing and pushing and hustling as hard as I can. And
yeah, no, I love that. So many elements of that, which I love. And I think clearly your mindset was a thing that carried you throughout, and you're certainly speaking my language when you're talking about dreaming big, having a goal, having a huge vision, and that it's okay to kind of start all over again, something new, something that you love. And what were your influences in terms of kind of goal setting and, mentors and books? What really had a profound effect on you?
I keep going back to that one, and I think because I didn't have any family or friends that guided me or helped me and say, hey, do this, do that, because the only family I had that we part ways. So I was kind of finding myself with my son. I have, right now he's 15, but back then he was, younger. And the funny thing is, and I'm sure everybody does, I think, Tony Robbins, right? So, he's the only guy who guided me and helped me. He doesn't know that, but I know that, and that's cool. But he guided me.
And you've spent 4 days kind of jumping up and down.
Correct. And I didn't go to any of these events because I couldn't afford anything. I already found myself like in April 2010 with zero money in my bank. Like I cannot even buy food. Like that's how bad this was for me. But just listening to the tapes, because I had it from a prior year and it was just always available for me. And I think I still have them. I still have the tapes. It was tapes. It wasn't even like a CD. And he's the only one who helped me and believing in myself. Yes, I had my support from my family, but they were back in Israel. They're not in the States. And I did have some support from them by my mom talking to her back and forth. But it was mainly just me believing in myself, and because I didn't have any mentors, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about the coaching. And then as I got a little bit more involved in the photography, I did hire one of Tony Robbins' coaches to actually life coach me and kind of help me with that process. And that's where I got introduced into the world of coaching, which is a significant, an amazing world to be at. and learn from so many people. And today, that's all I want to be around. It's just learn from everybody that I can, whether they're $1 million company or just $20 company. It doesn't matter to me, because I think everybody can teach us something, you know. So.
Yeah, I think to be in that environment of positive people who, you know, supporting you, it's absolutely essential. I think if you have goals and dreams and visions, because it's a bit lonely doing these things on your own without people who are speaking the same language, and you know, because I know James has said this before, that us entrepreneurs, we are a bit of a crazy bunch, and it can be quite hard at times for people to really understand, you know, what you're doing. You know, why would anyone choose this unpredictable life?
Exactly. I mean, it is. You're correct. It's unpredictable. It's a lot of work, and it's not the easy path. I mean, the easy path is go get a 9 to 5, you know, get paid, don't worry about anything else, and that's it, right? I mean, you get your paycheck, and that's what you live within. But that's not the life I want for myself. I mean, I'm a risk taker. I mean, I've done crazy things in my life, and I'm not saying everything was hard, everything was easy, but you know, we had the ups and downs like every entrepreneur. But I'm so excited to be a part of this community right now, and creating the Gold Plan was like the best thing I could have done for myself first, because it was something that I wanted, and then where I saw that it worked, and I pushed it out to the world, you know. And I think it's gonna, and I touch more and more lives. And the funny thing is, because I love reading the reviews, not about the product is great, and you know, I know the product is great, I really do know, but it's knowing that it changed life for people. When people say I was able to quit my job and do a full-time thing like I wanted to, and I was able to travel the world based on that for me is fulfilling. That's something I want, and I'm happy that it helps people, you know, in that way. So that's, for me, is like a win-win, you know.
So could you just talk us through your process on setting goals? Because we've all heard about all the different ways to set goals. There's SMART goals, there's, you know, there's all these different things that you can do. But what is your specific, what's worked for you, and how did you then translate that into a planner?
Yeah, so so when I created the planner, I mean, I'm like you. I know you're big about vision and vision board and stuff like that. So I have a huge vision board. It's right here. Obviously, I don't know if people can see it, but it's right here. It's all taped and cut, and I put things that I want in there. So for me, the first step is I really, something that I want. Obviously, I don't glue everything I want, you know, on the wall. It's just something that I want. So it's first, what it is that you want for me. What it is that I want. So let's say the goal planner, right? Creating it, the process of creating the goal planner. It's something that I wanted because I could not find it after ordering, I think, 20, 25 different planners. I'm not saying they're bad planners. I'm just saying they did not work for me, did not have the elements that I was looking for. So the vision for me was not in their planners. So just creating, so I decided that that's what I want to do. The reason after that is like, okay, why do you want this goal planner? Why is it so important to you to have this? Because wanting a goal planner, that's great, or creating this product, that was great, but it's like, why do I want this so bad? And the reason is because I thought it will give me that freedom that I want, to have a product that I created so I can follow my guidance, my guide, and work with that, because there isn't anything out there, right, that I can just go and buy. And so again, it's wanting something, it's the why behind it, which I think is the most important thing, because if you really want this product, then you have to have a big why, a big reason, not because, oh, it'll be cool to have one. That's not a reason. That's not a strong enough vision, or you know, a why, not strong enough why to have. And then actually, the third step for me, and I think it's also in planner, is taking action. Because you can have a big vision, you can have a huge why, but if you do nothing but sit on the couch and visualize it, it's not going to happen. Not for me, at least. Maybe some other people. I don't know. It's not happening for me.
Yeah.
So it's actually taking action. And I think once I started taking action, and it's literally creating a product out of thin air that does not exist. It's looking for manufacturing. It's looking for people. It's looking for editing. It's writing the whole thing. I mean, we had 15 revisions of the PDF before this was even out. 15. Now, I added more challenge on myself because my editor and designer were not in the US next to me. They were actually in Israel, in Tel Aviv. 10 hours time difference. My manufacturer is in China, another time zone difference. So now I'm dealing with all those time zones while I still have a full-time job, right? Photography, I'm still working. But it was, the why was so big that I actually made it happen. It took about 4 months. So that's my process. It's having a big vision. It's really wanting this product, money, diet, whatever it may be your vision is, right? And then having a big why, and the why has to really sync with you, and that's really what you want. And then the third is just taking action, whether it's a lot of action, a little action, but it's just taking action every day. And I think that's the key. That's what people like. They take for the first week, 2 weeks, and then I'll just do it next week and the week, and then they forget. So that's what it is. It's the action. And I think one of the things that you notice as well, because you own the planner, and a lot of people do, is I put a section over there to rewrite your goals every week. And the reason I did that, because I think the more you review your goals, the more you review, it's a muscle memory, it's just going to be part of what you want. And if you don't agree with it anymore, then you can shift the goal if that's what you don't want anymore. I never say to shift the goal. I always say change the action if it doesn't work. Don't change the goal. The goal should be, your main focus. Change the action if it doesn't work. But I did put that rewrite your goals and rewrite your actions in the planner, because I think it's important to have it in there, because people right in the beginning just never look at it again, which doesn't make sense. So I think it should be every day to review your goals, but I put it in the planner every week because I didn't want people to get pissed off at me. So it's
and why 90 days? What's so significant about 90 days? Why is it not a year-long planner like most other planners?
So you can buy 4 of those and then you have a 1 year. No, I'm kidding. but no, I actually like the 90-day process because I think our brain, and I'm not an expert about this stuff, but it worked for me to do smaller increments, right? I mean, it's just smaller baby steps than thinking about maybe you can have your year goal, your 5-year goal, your 10-year vision, whatever it may be. But I think it's just having those 90 days increments is a lot easier. It's a lot better to work, and the mind can take that a lot easier than dealing with a whole year thing. I also created it because I wanted to work with the corporate world, and that's the way it is. They get measured by quarterlies. And that's something I wanted to sync together than doing a whole. It's a 300 pages on 90 days. Imagine if this was a full year. I'll be like encyclopedia, it's like 1,200 pages. So I think 90 is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is, and they're so beautiful as well. Now, what's your idea for kind of what to do with them afterwards?
So I collect my books. I don't throw away books, and I love planners and journals. Like I have them all, even if they're blank or in they're plastic, I keep them. I would actually definitely keep your planner. I would not toss your planner. You wouldn't toss it, right? I mean, you worked so hard to achieve the goal that's in there, and I think it's a reminder. And even if you have so many of those, this planner or another planner, it doesn't have to be necessarily this one, any other planner that you have, or any other tools that help you reach your goal, I think you should save them, right? So it's part of your reward for having it. So I think I like to have mine. I have them in all my colors, and everything I've used. I only used 4 because I've only been out for a year. Believe it or not, I started my first one on a PDF. I just had a PDF and printed like 300 pages, and it's all over the place. But I'm happy having it compressed. But I would say keep them. I mean, it's your reward. You achieved it. And if anytime you doubt yourself, you can go back to that planner that actually helped you achieve your goal. If there's a certain one that really changed and you have this big breakthrough through that planner, through that time in your life, then I would say go and review it, because it's something that you set. So I save all my planners, all my books, everything. And I just have them. I don't put it in boxes in the storage because I don't think it does any good. But I think I have them on shelves and I like it. So
yeah, it's great to look back on your journey and see, how far you've come. Because I think sometimes, when you are in business, and some days it feels like, oh my gosh, things are moving a bit slowly, or I haven't had any progress, or I feel a bit behind, or you've had setbacks. But actually, when you take some time to reflect on actually how far you've come, it just suddenly makes you feel better. It can lift you out of the slump.
I wish we could document our life, and see really, because sometimes I know I'm guilty of this, and my wife is the reminder. She's the one who slaps me in the face and reminds me this. I feel that I'm unsuccessful sometimes, right? I'm not successful enough because I've not reached exactly where I want to go. But the thing is, I don't even know where the ceiling is. And that's what she reminds me. Where is your ceiling? Because you can go as high as you want, and I think that I am. And then she brings me down to it, and I think, okay, yeah, great, I'm successful. I created this photography business from scratch. I survived $5.25 an hour. I survived insurance sales, construction sales. I bought a house. I have 4 kids. I mean, I have a beautiful wife. I mean, how more success can I get? You know, great family. So, I mean, I think it's just coming back to work and realizing it. So it'll be nice to go back and look about the things that we have accomplished, whether it's small or big. It's your own. You're your own judge. Nobody else can judge you because you know what you've been through to get where you're at and where you want to go. So that's just, yeah.
I love it. Now, we've talked a little bit about the vision board, but what I love about this beginning is, I'd like to talk, it's one of my favorite topics. So at the beginning of the book, there is like a mini vision board where you can actually do a vision for your next 90 days. And you talked about your vision board. So why do you think having a vision is so important? You know, I know why it is, but I'd love to hear your take on that.
You know, because I think that, you know, I think people are visualized people, right? I visualize things. It's hard for me to read things, and then, you know, I'm visualized. I'm more about photos because it makes it more realistic for me, right? Actually seeing this tangible thing makes it more realistic for me than actually reading about it. So in my vision board, I put things around. In the one in the book, I write things, but then I go and cut those things out and I put them on my wall. So it's created the same way on my wall because I just feel that we have to start with a vision of what we want, how we would want this perfect product, service, member, whatever it is that we're doing in our life to be our body, whatever it may be. You have to have a vision, in my opinion, again, is, you know, what you want. Because if you don't have a vision, then, you know, it's kind of, I think it makes it hard. So me having a vision of what I want, it's step number 1 in anything. And I actually just today started an exercise. It's a 30-day challenge that I put on my wall, on my whiteboard, and it was more like visualizing every day for 5 minutes how I would want my life to look like. So that's my challenge for the next 30 days, and I just started it literally this morning, August 1st, and I put on the wall, and I wrote that sentence, don't forget to visualize every day for 5 minutes, because that's how I would want my life. So I even if I need to, because in my house it's chaos, there's kids, and we have babies, it's all over the place, and in the morning it's like so difficult because I'll wake up at like 5 o'clock in the morning for whatever reason. And it just, so I said that even if I have to get in my car and drive to a parking lot that's empty and just sit there for 5 minutes and do it, because I think that's so important, because it changes your whole energy in your body, in my opinion, at least for me. It changes the energy, and I can visualize what it is that I want my life to look like. You know, I know how my wife looks like, but my life to look like. And I think that's something I started today, just happened to be, whether we're talking about it, but I just started with it. So I think that's the key in anything. If we don't have a clear vision of what we want our life or business or whatever it may be to look like, it's just not going to happen. In my opinion, maybe it happens to other people, but in my opinion, that's a very important step, is to visualize how you want your life to look like, your financial, your body, whatever it may be. For me, it's step number 1. That's where it's in the book, number 1. And actually, my wife is the one who added that because I didn't have it in there. Because I'm like, people are not going to write their dreams. So like, oh, you can go.
What a clever lady.
Yes. No, so it's her, and I have to say that because she's going to kill me if I don't give her credit. Yeah, so she did create that, and we added it to the book. And I think it's really a great way of starting your goals is with your vision. You know, what's your vision? Because just invent goals, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, I must admit that was the thing that kind of sold me on it, the mini vision. And I love, because I'm surrounded by vision boards here, but just to have a mini 90-day one, I thought, oh yeah, that's a really good idea. That's such a good idea. I love it.
And everybody can translate it the way they want to. You know, they cut photos and stick it, or just write it. You know, no rules.
Now, what about motivation? Because it's all very well now. How do you keep yourself motivated when moving towards your goals? Because that is the tricky one. I was talking to, again, we both know her, Dr. Shannon Irvine last week. And she was saying that actually it takes about between 62 to 67 days for this new neural pathway to be formed where things just then become automatic. And a lot of people kind of give up around the 30-day mark because and a lot of people actually talk about 21 and 30-day challenges, but actually you're only halfway to creating a neural pathway at this stage. So, and I've been there. Sometimes, you know, it only takes a little setback, illness, or, you know, the kids being sick or something that just throws you and it just knocks you off track. How do you keep yourself motivated?
So for me, I use my reward. Okay. So I have my ultimate reward, right? I mean, once I reach this goal, what's my reward? And I didn't want to put it in the beginning of the book because it doesn't make sense. I think you should reward yourself. But what I did is I take my reward, whatever my reward is, once I hit my ultimate goal, and it's everywhere. It's on my iPhone screen. It's on my my desktop screen. It's on my wall. It's in my dashboard of the car, a picture of my reward. And that keeps me motivated everywhere I go. So if I feel like, this is just not going to work, because we all have those days, I have those rewards, everything. I mean, literally, we open the phone, 200 times a day? I mean, it's there every time I look at it. So it keeps me motivated, keeps me focused. Why I'm actually doing what I'm doing, it's that way. So for me, it's like a reward, right? I mean, so that's a simple answer, but that's what it is for me.
Great. But I think we're all motivated. That's how I don't want to use the word bribe. That's how I bribe my children to get stuff done with rewards. You know, we're human. It works.
It works. It just helps me stay in focus, and it reminds me, because just looking at that picture will remind me, will snap everything. It's like, hey, this is what you're doing that to get here. So stay on track, stay focused, and so that works for me. Just a simple thing like that, just having my reward everywhere.
Now, my vision for Big Vision TV was to bring along a guest every week who was either working towards their big vision or overcome obstacles in order to be on their way towards a big vision, but also has tools that helps people in order to accomplish their vision. So I think you've shown us all three today. We've got a tool by way of the planner, and and the fact that you have lived through ups and downs in your life, how lots of us do.
Correct.
Before we now, actually, I'll come to this in. Alon has got a really generous discount code for us in a minute, so we'll post the link up to that in a minute. But I want to speak to the people briefly. Let's go back to the beginning of your story. You arrived in the United States from another country with nothing, and you just worked your butt off, getting any job you could in construction, cleaning. Now, there are lots of people who are kind of feel like they're stuck in their circumstance, and they may not even be in that, that position. Maybe their lives have just become comfortable and a bit like, there's always something I've wanted to do. I don't know what I want to do. Or they do have a vision and they're all these fears as to why they can't get started. What would be some words of wisdom from you to those people to, that, because I believe, anything's possible with the vision and the action. But yeah, what would you say to those people? Because these are the people who I really, wanted to reach out to with this show.
So I don't have words of wisdom so much, but I mean, it's like, I believe that if you really want it, you have to go do it. I mean, that's just it. So if you really want to do this big thing and you're just lazy about it and you don't want to do it, then obviously, you're just not, your why is not big enough. So I think once you have your why and you want to do it, you'll actually get up and do it. I believe that if those people actually give themselves a chance, whether it's 20 days, 21 days, 30 days, 90 days, whatever it may be, whatever works, start with a week even, and give yourself a chance. But just think, if you're sitting in the spot that you're right now, everything is the same, it's fine. In 90 days, you're going to be in the same spot if you haven't done anything. But if you really want to do that next thing, or you want to write this book, or lose 10 pounds, or do a marathon, whatever it may be, then think about how would that feeling be when you reach that level? How would you feel when you ran that marathon, when you already wrote that book? And I think if they can visualize that and feel that, that would motivate them to actually get up and do it. Most people fail in the beginning, and it's okay, because they stop and then they reset and stop and reset. That's the way we build. That's the way I feel that we get stronger, by failing and learning. But I think they should, want it, have a big why, and if the why is not that big, they don't really want it, they have to come back to the beginning. But I think it's literally just giving yourself the chance and believing that anything, and you said it, anything is possible. You know, and it could be a small thing, it could be a huge thing, but I think it just believing that, you know, anything is possible and give yourself the chance, you know.
Yeah, and I think that is the key. You've got to want it enough. Yeah, it's as simple as that. And I think a lot of people, maybe they just don't want it enough. So I'm just trying to, I don't know if you have it to hand, so where do we find the planners, Alon?
So currently they're available on our website, which is 90xgoalplanner.com. So you can go over there, and we ship worldwide. I mean, we do ship worldwide. It is expensive to ship behind the United States, and it's not my fault, it's USPS. That's what they charge. But I think, so it's available on our website. I'm giving you guys a code, which is Big Vision TV 25. So that's 25 off from anything you want to purchase, a pen, a planner, a leather cover, whatever it may be. I think you should give yourself that chance, give yourself that gift, and use that 25, because I want to give it to certain people, not everybody. It's not available for everybody. So that's the code, and you can post it afterwards, and it will be there forever. So if somebody views this in a year from now, it will be available. It does not expire. But I would recommend that you guys get this goal planner, or any goal planner, or any tool, or any membership that can help you. Really, I'm not trying to push my product up here, not at all. I believe that any tool that works for you, use it. So it's available on our website, 98goalplanner.com, and it's available on Amazon. We are trying to make this work and ship into Amazon UK and Europe and everything, because most of our clients are from Australia, Sweden, UK, Canada as well. And I know the shipping is expensive, but I mean, it's a small expense if you invest in yourself. And if you really want to try it for 90 days, we're happy to do that. We'll also include a sticker pack with motivational words to help your people try it out as well.
Yeah, and I can't recommend it enough, because I wouldn't have brought you on if it wasn't a planner that I think is amazing. And again, and I'm a firm believer that anything that is, you get what you pay for, basically. Right. It is a bit more expensive than a normal planner, but what are we talking about? If you start breaking down cups of coffee, it's nothing. It's, you know, really not a lot of money at all. And plus, with the discount code, there's really no excuse. And yeah, so it's just an amazing tool to keep you on track, because if you've got a big goal, you've got a big vision, it's difficult to stay on track. It really is. It's hard.
It's hard.
Even the motivated, and I consider to myself to be pretty motivated. There are some days that I'm a bit like, but you pick up, you get going, you go back to your planner. I do my tapping, go review my vision boards, and again, what you just said about your 30-day challenge, I actually do that every single day. I spend a couple of minutes with my vision board. I do tapping with it. I get myself believing in it again, and because you've got to believe in your vision as well, because there are some days when you do feel quite far away from your vision and you can't see how it's going to happen. Just getting yourself back into the zone and believing it again is usually... It
makes it feel good, doesn't it? I mean, when you actually do it, it gets your energy level changed. I mean, it makes you feel good.
Totally. Yeah, everything that I've accomplished in my life has begun with a vision. Everything, even the crazy things that I've manifested, always started with a visualization. And yeah, and I love the fact it's the first thing you do in this planner. But as we said, both of us said before, you can't just sit there and chant and meditate and just visualize. It is about taking the action steps as well. So yeah, so there we go. Thank you, Lisa, for putting up the code. Vision T. It does capital letters matter with the code?
No. Big Vision TV 25 is one of the, Big Vision TV 25. Just put that code and then we'll send it out. And I know that came from you. So we'll also include like a sticker pack for them and motivational, so they can stick it everywhere to help them stay more motivated. And you know, I want to add something. I did like a small test. I gave I think it was like 28 planners to a group. And I wanted to see how many of those people, and I checked in with them like 30 days later to see where they stand. How many people you think actually use the planner?
I don't know. I'm guessing because they didn't pay for them.
Because they didn't pay for it. You're right. Zero.
Thinking they didn't use it.
Zero. There was a nice book, and I asked them, it's like, hey, can you send me a screenshot of your goals, and oh yeah, I'm gonna start it, like, and I went through the whole list, and I was like, why? So that's the difference. So that's why we don't give it, because I think if people are not invested, they're just not going to do it. And I know it works for me too. If I get something, then it got to be so easy, it means nothing. But when I invested, when I worked for it, when I actually did the step to actually do this and receive and actually sit, I will do much more than actually when I get something, you know, and say, yeah, go do it, you know. So some people gift it to the friends because they feel they're stuck, and that's great because somebody did something for you. But when we just give, because I try to like give, buy one, give one, whatever, all that stuff, and I just noticed that it's not working. It's just getting wasted. So why do that? Because people don't appreciate it as much because they didn't invest. And I don't think it's appreciated. It's actually, they're not invested in what they want. I mean, you know, I know a lot of people in our group know that. I mean, Costa, we invest a lot of money in ourselves through programs, but it's for us. So nobody can take that away from us, you know, and we're fully committed, you know, so.
I couldn't agree with you more about the whole giving things away. And there's been a lot of times where, you know, I've got programs that I have gifted to people and they don't do it. They don't do it. And even now with friends, yes, I'll give friends a discount. But in fact, if anything, friends are the people you want to help the most. And when they, and yeah, it's so, so true. Investing in yourself is I think it's the most important thing in your personal development, and it's going to take you forwards, you know, whether it's an investment of your time, but really actually your cold, hard-earned cash is a pretty big motivator to,
right.
Yeah. And as Shannon said here, transformation, we know, is in the transaction. It really is. It's so true. Yeah, so there we go. Here's the site for the goal planner, 90xgoalplanner.com. And let me just go back, and don't forget the discount code. Oh, I can't find it now. Yeah.
It's posted a couple of times. Yeah. So.
Yeah, there we go. There's the discount code there. Thank you, Lisa, for sharing those links for me. And so Ellie has ended with, well, we're going to end with Ellie's question. She's got a great question here. We want to know, what's your goal for the next 90 days, Alon?
So,
and this leads us nicely to what we were talking about just beforehand about the membership. Is that part of it?
Yeah. So that's one of my goals. I mean, I have a huge goal, but one of my goals is to actually launch, and we actually started it, and it's a membership site. It's a program to help people because we put some questions out because we wanted to really see what people are lacking, how else we can help them, right, achieve their goals, right? That's what we're all about. So we were trying to find out how else can we help. And we found that focus is one of the things, procrastination is one of the things, accountability is one of the things that people need in their life. And some of them literally don't know how to set goals. So they get this planner. We got an email yesterday, so I purchased this planner, it's beautiful, it's shiny, see this, and now what? Well, we kind of have the how-to, but if that doesn't work, that's okay. So it kind of got me thinking, like, why not start something to help people even more? So it's in beta, it's available on our website right now, but if people wanted more than just the planner, and that was my 90-day goal, is to launch this membership/program, helpline, whatever you want to call it, to help people reach their goal, which will include a one-on-one coaching, which will include a weekly coaching on video, which will include a motivational speaker every month, which will include a support group, which really include everything. And the reason I believe in that so much, because I think we all need that, whether it's a big group, a small group, it doesn't matter. We need some support, some people to keep us back on track. So that is my 90-day goal. It started 30 days ago, and we have 6 days, but we are available right now. It's on beta, so we're testing it to make sure we're actually giving everything that everybody wants, because I want to design based on what the feedback of people needs, not what I want, because it doesn't matter. It matters is how can we help other people reach their goal. And the funny thing is, I know it's like a sales pitch, but we actually put a money back guarantee, because we believe that if we don't help you in 90 days, here's your money, that's okay. We're happy with that. We'll give you your money back, because I really believe, and it's not just about selling the membership or the program or the planner. I really believe that the more people we help, the more people those people will help. And that's just the effect that I want to create with my goal. And it's not just about the money. I believe that that's the easy part. Money will come. But I think it's just helping as many people as we can, as fast as we can, because we all need that in the world, in my opinion.
I love that. And I love the, I just I just want to end quickly on this whole kind of, this is the last episode of Big Vision TV. And, I've had so many comments and messages, people who say they've loved the guests who've come on. And I think the ripple effects of what we do is enormous. We don't really, and sometimes I would love to see how far the ripple effects have gone, but that's such a lovely sentiment to have, that it's, how we help people, they go on to help others, and it just ultimately makes the world a nicer place. Sounds really cheesy, but that's just how it is. And so thank you so much for bringing these extraordinary plans to the world. I've got no doubt whatsoever they're going to be huge success, and that everyone is going to be every entrepreneur's must-have item of stationery. They're gorgeous. I'm already visualizing having the rainbow of them. They come in so many pretty colors. And yeah, I've got my eye on the gold one next.
Yeah, gold one is also my favorite ones right now. But I have so many. It's like, oh, maybe I should use this. Oh, maybe. Yeah. But I use the gold one right now because I have the ability to use whatever. But I and I like them old. Some people like to keep it nice and neat. I like mine to look old, like they actually worked. So I like them tinted and everything. I just like that. But that's just me. But
Brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. It was so fun to be over here, and I hope that we helped someone. And whatever we can do, any questions, they can shoot us an email or shoot me an email. We'll love to help. But I'm so excited to be here, and I'm so happy to actually close the season. So.
Brilliant. I'm so happy. Well, and I think it's a great. Actually, sorry, I do have one final question, which is, I did mention this at the beginning, because so this is my break now, end of season. I'm coming back mid-September. What do you do kind of during downtime? How do we keep our goals active? Sorry, just one final quick question. Yeah.
You mean downtime, being on vacation?
This is the 1st of August. Traditionally, a lot of us, certainly here in England, this is holiday month. How do we kind of keep our goals and actions kind of active during this kind of like downtime?
Yeah, so I think that everybody should take a vacation, right? Everybody should take a time off from everything, because I think we all need to reset, right? I turn off my computer once a week, but I mean, I think we need to do that. So I think that if you want to stay active, it's okay if you take a week off of whatever it is that you're doing, and just enjoy life. Forget about business goals and everything, because they will be there when you get back. So my recommendation, what I do is, when we go vacation, I say, okay, for the first week, I'm just not going to do anything. I'm just going to spend time with the family, clean, so I can just clean my energy and just focused on that, on having a good time. But then I also commit to myself that after that week is over, I'm going to go back on track. So it's giving yourself a permission to step away for a second, finish. A week is fine. It's a good time to clear, and then jump back into the planner or whatever system that you have going in the thing. So that's pretty much what keeps me motivated. It's like permission to take a week off and then start back where I stopped. Even though I'm on vacation, that doesn't mean maybe you won't be in full capacity, but it's still, you can do something, answer an email, this, that, but still stay on track of your goals.
And you can still socialize every day while you're by the pool.
That's free. You see, you don't have to do anything, so yeah. That definitely I'm going to do, and definitely I do all the time, but now I'm just committed to do that, and I have a challenge with a graph, and I got it all on my wall. So.
Great. Amazing. Well, I can't wait to meet you in person in a few weeks' time. Will you be at the event?
Yes, of course. I'm looking forward to it.
Great, lovely. Thank you so much for being on. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for all your support this season. And yes, any questions, pop them in the chat. And I will be back with Big Vision TV in September, but I will be back. Don't worry, I'm not disappearing anywhere, but just having a little break from the show. And I'm gathering up a whole bunch of incredible guests for next season. And thank you, Alon. And
thank you so much.
Bye for now.
Bye.